Yes, this is inside id. A world filled with hatred and sadness. That's all that's here. Yes, now I understand, id. Why you hate the world. Why there is nothing inside you. Nothing. Nothing was given to you, deprived of all the happy memories. And yet, it feels pleasant. It almost feels good. Now I get it. There's no need to resist. I was originally just an existence that was created as a cover to hide id. So it would be better to return to that place. Let's come together. To wipe away everything, including ourselves. Remember, were you not going to help Ellie? Ellie. That's right, Ellie. I've got to save Ellie. What's this place? What's he done now? He only called you in here for his own sake. This is inside the shell of your basic character, the room of the coward. I'm sure you've been here many times before. I see. I remember now, in my dreams. Everything despised and unwanted he pushed onto me, while he shut himself up in his own little shell, the coward Faye. Bro, this visual is, like, insane. This is, like, inside of Faye's mind, there's a child self that's just sitting in front of a video projector watching his childhood. Like, that's so wild. Like, that's such a cool visual of, like, I don't know how to describe, like if you had like this place in your brain where you just went when everything was bad, and it was just like almost like this childish, you know, there is no bad, like just this childish, like, I can just sit here and watch the good times and pretend like none of the bad exists. And, like, what a cool, like, visual of that. Just a kid watching a little projector of him, like, playing as a kid. Like, that's so good. Yeah, like, even, like, the audio of, like, the projector. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, yes, they had to cut so much, and a lot of it's just sitting in chairs talking. But the moments that they needed are still here. And, like, the visual, like, genius of, like, these scenes. Like, I was talking way at the beginning of the game about how amazing the camera work and visual style of the game is. And, like, it has not stopped. Even though a lot of it they had to speed through, these moments still are, like, so visually insane. Like, it's just, it blows me away. Oh, this is, like, so cool. The basis for our personalities. Who are you? Ah, you're my... Hey, let's watch this together. This is my most treasured possession. Ha! By repeatedly replaying the times he was full of happiness, he lives in his own happy little world. While I'm still alive only because of what's in those leftover dregs. Here, I'll show you everything about me. My eyes. Ours was an ordinary family. A strict but reliable father. A kind and loving mother. Up till then, it was complete happiness. But one day, Mother suddenly changed. She was like a totally different person. From that day on, Faye lost his home. Father was away often. He had some important work. When Father was away from home, Faye was taken to a place with mysterious machines. Inside there were many strangely dressed people. Many types of probes were injected into Faye's body as the start of some kind of experiments. The tests caused Faye much pain. "Mom, help me! What are you doing? No! No!" Mother didn't come to his assistance. Young Faye had no way of resisting, but he was able to endure. Eventually, the experiments became unbearable. Many people gathered around Faye. These people had a high compatibility with the anima relics. This psychic contact with Faye was to force him to awaken. But no one could make contact with Faye. The power drawn out of Faye, regardless of his will, destroyed them all. This is unbelievable. Mother allowed this to take place? Psychic contact? What do you mean by awaken me? To awaken God, everything had to be in perfect order, with nothing lacking. Things divided in the past must become one complete whole again. Countless people died before Faye's eyes. Men, women, the old, the young, even demi-humans. Suffering, grief, fear, ecstasy, a variety of emotions and words lingered, and tumbled about Faye like broken dolls. It was a scene from hell. In front of Father, she acted normally. When Faye tried to tell Father about Mother's strange conduct in the experiments, Father's mind was taken up by his work, and he didn't really listen. He thought it was just childhood fantasies. But he didn't have to endure the pain much longer. Faye's subconscious discovered a way to escape from the trauma. He formed a separate persona to deal with things he didn't like or couldn't bear. He removed himself from out of harm's way. My role was to have all the things he hated forced upon me the moment they arose. From the time of my division from him, I was dominated by hatred. That hatred naturally turned into destructive impulses. I wanted to destroy everything. Mother, Father, the entire world. Finally, Father noticed Mother's odd behavior, but it was already too late. I had completely separated from that coward, my original self. The puppets were broken, and Faye's heart was too. What would make Mother do such a thing? Mother repeated the experiments to study the power she knew existed within me. Yes, that woman, Mother, was Miang. That's a lie! No, it's true. Mother was Miang. That's right. Karen had become Miang. Not Karen. What is that you say? It's nothing special. Miang does not have only one host body. Miang's roots are sealed in the genes of all women. Only one of them could become Miang, or any one of them could become Miang. It just happened to be Mother's turn. Only Ellie was special originally. No! Karen, Miang, noticed that Faye's memory time axis had increased 2 or 3-fold. She then became convinced that Faye was the contact. Contact? Yes, I was the contact. That's why he called out to me. And why the time had come. Stop it! Cut it out! Dad! Dad! Mom, help Dad! Hey, Mom, why aren't you helping Dad? Dad, Dad's gonna die! Groff came seeking the power that exists within me, to return to his own body. You understand now, don't you? Groff is Lacan. We, his descendants who inherited his lingering thoughts and memories from him, know only too well. Divided 500 years ago, he would become a part of us both. Lacan became Groff. He destroyed everything on the face of the earth. He then mastered how to possess the bodies of others by dwelling in their minds. He was probably enabled to do this after his contact with the existence. The bodies died, but Lacan's spirit continued living by possessing others. He had come that day to return his soul, at last, to the perfect reincarnation of his physical body. The body of Faye. Father fought him, but he couldn't protect Mother or I. He pitifully fought on while coughing up his lifeblood. Groff made a mockery of Father, and Mother would not even help him when he needed her the most. As for their son, he couldn't take what was happening anymore. He gave into his feelings and released his power, and as a result, Mother died. Mom! And he offloaded the results of his actions onto me. To avoid taking the responsibility for killing Mother, he used me as a shield. I also killed Mother. No wonder he calls him the coward. He pushed all the bad things onto me, but kept all the memories filled with happiness and Mother's love to himself. And he shut himself away with those memories inside his own little shell, forever. This is the place. What you see before you is what he made. He just keeps hanging on to those memories. That's what this is. Stop it! Just stop it! These scenes. Are these all there are these all there is to us? Enough already. There is nothing here. Just a world filled with deception and pain. It can't be helped. This is our world. This is everything. I feel like I gotta pause for a second and like put together this Lacan thing. So like when Sophia died originally, there was what was that scene? Krellian like disappeared, and then what did Lacan do? He was there, and then he traveled to the existence, right? So Lacan traveled to the existence and became Groff. So Groff is Groff a combination of Lacan and the existence, I guess? And then they said that Lacan himself learned how to put his own being into other people. So Lacan has been taking over people for 500 years or whatever it was. Right, and then he went to Zahar and became Graf. Yeah, I'm still, like, I wanna think about, like, what this means for Miang, too, but I'm trying to just kind of figure out Lacan first. So, like, Lacan, Lacan has been taking over different people for the past 500 years and being Graf this whole time. And according to id, Graf is just trying to destroy the world. Which seems... I feel like id is wrong. I feel like Graf is not just trying to destroy the world. Like, yeah, he's torn up over... Sophia. It seems more like Graf is... Yeah, Graf is more like, I want the ultimate power so that nothing can ever hurt me again, kind of thing. Like, I want the ultimate power so I can... I don't know if he's trying to save Sophia. I think that he's like... He knows that Sophia's dead, but he knows that Ellie is alive? I don't... Has he ever said anything about Ellie? I don't feel like he's said anything about Ellie throughout the game. What did he say? Did he say he was trying to save Ellie at any point? I don't really think he was. But he kind of has like the, I need the ultimate power so that I can control my destiny kind of thing. Not really just to like destroy the world. But that's kind of what id said. But I don't think that's true. When did Graf try to protect Ellie? I can't remember. Wasn't there a moment where like he came in and like rescued us randomly and we were like, what the heck was that about? The end of the Kislev scene. See, I feel like I remember this. I remember him like saving us and then we were like, what the heck was that, Graf? And then he like took off. But it's not, the actual scene isn't like coming to my brain at the moment. But he shielded Ellie from the, okay. So yeah, now, okay, that makes a lot of sense now. So yeah, I think that id is wrong about Graf. I think Graf is here to save Ellie and like no one else. So anyways, so I guess the only point that I'm trying to figure out is like, okay, so inside of Faye, there is the original Faye, who is the coward, right? And then there's id, which is the separate conscience that Faye created inside of his brain to take all the negative emotions. So in the original, like originally there was only two. There was the coward and there was id, right? But then when Faye grew up, at some point he ended up in the village and his memories were wiped. And I don't know if we know why yet, but at some point his memory was wiped. And that's when the third Faye was created, which is the one that we've known from the start of the game, that I think id just calls Faye at this point. The Faye in quotation marks. That's that one. And then I thought there was a fourth one. And I'm wondering, is the fourth one basically like the essence of Lacan? Because like he said that like, well, I guess that's not really a personality, but I'm trying to, because like for whatever reason, Faye is also the perfect reincarnation of Lacan's body. And I'm not sure if we understand why yet. Faye is not the contact, but he is the perfect manifestation of Lacan's original body. Miang only thought Faye was the concept, but the contact, because he was really good at splitting his memories. Faye created the fourth himself from current trauma. Was that like when he fell asleep that first time? And then Ellie woke him up? And he seemed like oddly different? I'm not sure that one really matters much, but just trying to figure it out. So wait, yeah, maybe I'm confused on the contact then, because the contact is the person who has the ability to become not God, but have the power of the Zohar, right? The contact was explained a while ago. I'm trying to remember exactly. They explained it once, but I don't remember who explained it and if they were correct. But okay, that's what I thought. So like the contact is the person who can contact with the Zohar. And that was Lacan, right? Lacan did that because Miang told him about it. Because Miang was trying to set up the contact from way back when so that she could eventually use him. So she told Lacan about it, and Lacan was so distraught from Sophia's death that he was willing to go. So then he went, became the contact, and got the ability to basically live forever by putting his personality into other people. But we still don't know why that created Faye. So, like, we probably just don't know that yet. But for some reason, that created an ultimate version, a perfect version of his physical self 500 years into the future. Which, for some reason, is also the contact. Why did Miang have to wait? I think that was explained earlier, too. For some reason, Miang had to wait for this version of the contact. She couldn't just use Lacan. Did they say that God had to, like, get his strength back or something? I don't think that was the case. Anyways. I was a fool. It was all my fault. I was so busy with my duties in Shavat that I didn't notice Karen had changed. I couldn't save you when you needed my help. Save me? Ha! Why bother saying such nonsense now? It's not going to change anything. The only thing you can do now is die by my hand. Ugh. Even still, I'll show you that I can save you. Dad! Stop it, Id. Father has done nothing wrong. I know, this one is the real culprit. Mother and father had no choice. Yeah, I love this visual again of, like, Faye fighting with himself while he's watching the thing happen. Thanks, pass it back to me. I'm playing with Mother. This is not reality. It's all a lie, it's all fake, it's all a trick, all of it, all of it, all of it! No, get out! This is my room. I thought you would always be with me. Why won't you see reality? Happiness, sadness, aren't these all parts that combine to make the whole? Why won't you show him? Why don't you also show Id what you always watch? No, that's mine. I don't want to show it to the person who killed Mother. You should talk. You're the one who killed Mother. No, I didn't. You did. I did not kill her. Mother didn't care for you. Father didn't notice either. That's why you killed her. I didn't kill her. I didn't. I didn't. Knock it off. We killed Mother. It's no one's fault but ours. It's not because she became Miang or because Father didn't notice. Don't look outside for the reason. Don't blame anyone but yourself. Yes, Mother was Miang, and I know that you suffered. No one could have endured it. But you can't push it onto it alone. We are all one person. We must all become one, right? Faye. Walk on your own 2 feet. Face up to the reality that you don't want to see. Show them to id everything you took for yourself. Lies, that woman, this scene, all illusions he made up. I, my consciousness, can see through this trick. I won't be swayed. Id, that's enough. Doing that isn't going to solve anything. Mother saved us at the last moment. That is the truth, right? The reality isn't all grim, Id. My power couldn't save anyone. It only destroyed. I thought that I could only make a connection with others through destruction. So I had to destroy it all. People, the world, even Ellie. No, that's not the case. We can save others just as our mother, despite being Miang, saved us. Our power can save people. We can save Ellie. That's a first, Mother being so warm. To me, she almost seems too warm. Faye, take the memories I have within me. You must know what it used to be like up until now. Know our identity, about who we are, then figure out what ought to be done. Our integration is not yet complete. Elheim. Abel. Live. I just can't hand our child over to you. Live! Lacan, live! If God doesn't exist in our world, then I will create God with my own hands. What is this place? My execution site? Why don't you turn on me? I thought we were friends. Who is it? Did I cause this? What has happened to me? What have I become? Live! I will live. Even if I go to hell, I will live till the end of this world. And if the world does not come to an end, I will destroy it with my own hands. Faye. Faye. Who is it? Who's calling me? I am Har. What is this light? I reside in Sohar. I am the beginning and the end, the first and the last. God? God. Some would refer to me as that, from a certain point of view. It is right to view me as such, but at the same time I am not. I am also a part of you. Part of me? I am defined by how people observe me. You are actually talking to a virtual version of me that you yourself create. I am your perception of me. I don't understand what you are talking about. Who or what are you? In one word, existence. Existence? In actuality, I do not have a physical form. I am an existence of a higher dimension, a place you cannot perceive. But in terms you understand, it is a world where everything acts as kinds of waves. It is the source of this four-dimensional universe, the place where time and space is controlled, the fluctuating void, the wave existence. What does such an existence have to do with me? Long ago, a modifier or a pseudo-perpetual infinite energy engine was created. That engine was named Zohar. That reactor was created by an ancient people from another planet to attain what is considered to be the ultimate energy possible within this four-dimensional universe. Eventually, those people used the same engine to create the ultimate interplanetary invasion weapon, Deus. Zohar was used as its primary source of power. But the unexpected happened. During the connection tests of Zohar with the newly completed Deus, the engine started to examine infinite potential phenomena. Requiring energy, the engine connected this dimension to the higher dimensional space. As a result, that reactor merged or synchronized with the wave existence in that higher dimension, me. I descended from that point of contact created by the machine through the path of Sephiroth, of the domain you are in right now, and incarnated in the four-dimensional world. Oh my god, it's Sephiroth. After I advented to the four-dimensional world in order to stabilize myself here, I had to exchange or materialize my form and enter into the modifier engine. I'm actually really curious, because this game was made, obviously, around Final Fantasy VII, and they decided it wasn't going to be Final Fantasy VII. But I wonder if, like, I wonder if they had, like, an idea of using Sephiroth somewhere in the creation of Xenogears. They had the idea to use Sephiroth, and then when they decided it wasn't going to be Final Fantasy VII, and then they started creating Final Fantasy VII, they borrowed that concept again. Yeah, obviously in a different way, but it's just really funny that they both had the same kind of inspiration. A lot of the concepts were shared because why not? And it's not like a huge overarching thing in this game like it is in 7, but it's still here. That's so cool. I'm going to read this again. After I advented to the 4-dimensional world, in order to stabilize myself here, I had to exchange or materialize my form and enter into the modifier engine. In other words, I became bound in Zohar, the cage of fleshy existence. Since the time I was bound in Zohar, I have always wanted to return to my own dimension, and I came to a conclusion. I had to reverse the process I went through to arrive here. I must be released by the one who instilled within me a special feature of this dimension, the will. That one is you. Decided it was me? A special feature? Yes, I was given a special attribute of a human by you, the contact, when you observed me. I was given a mother's will. A mother's will? I'm sure you remember. After my descent, you had contact with the modifier engine, Zohar. I was going to say. As a contact, being but only a child, you defined my existence with your desire to return to your mother. Thus I came to prepare the mother's will. That will is Elheim. Ellie's disposition was influenced by me? Dude, that's such a, crazy detail, but that's the reason, I'm guessing that's the reason why Ellie smiled at him differently. Like, it's such a small, thing, but that's such a cool, connection. Yes, my will was incarnated through a biocomputer which was vital for Deus. After combining with me, the biocomputer evolved its functions, and that bioplant generated a central element. That is her. I was split by your contact. My physical form or flesh stayed in Zohar, while my will went into Elheim, and my power went into you. That's why I waited to unite with you, and now it is fulfilled. My only remaining desire is to break this cage of fleshy existence. In order to do that, I must become perfect by combining with Elheim, as well as my other split physical form, Deus. The only way to return to my original dimension is to destroy this physical body. In the 4-dimensional world, Zohar is perfect, so in order to destroy Zohar, I need the strength that was attributed to you. Zohar can only be destroyed by the hands of the contact. What about Ellie? If Zohar is destroyed, what will become of Ellie? Zohar and Deus are one. She is bound to the system by another's will to become one with me. In order to release her, it is necessary to destroy that very system that serves as the Deus weapon. However, having been created as a weapon, the Deus system seeks to unify itself with all of you for a different purpose than that of mine. Originally, her release should have been performed by me, the one who desires to return back to the higher dimension. But I am also bound to the system just as she is, so I am unable to participate. You are the only one who can release her from the spell. Just as Deus and I are inseparable, you and her are also inseparable. That didn't answer the question. Alright, I'll destroy Deus and the Zohar modifier, and I'll save Ellie. You have experienced much loss and deprivation in your life. It is very tragic. Our contact and the resulting transference of power and will between you and I most likely played a factor in splitting your personality. I disagree. I can't blame anything or anyone besides myself. Regardless of what may have happened in the past, with the passing of time, the cause becomes more remote. It is a problem that comes from within myself that I myself must deal with. I see. You have managed to accept these tragedies, to tolerate all things, to comprehend and find where you stand in this world. If you have succeeded to do all these things, I am sure you will succeed in what awaits you now. To liberate all of us, use the Xenogears. Destroy Zohar. Wait, there's more I need to ask you. The system is awakening. Ask her later. He said the thing. He said the Xenogear. He said it. He said the thing. The system is down. The cheat is grounded. Man, I feel like there was more I wanted to talk about, but like it just keeps going, and then I lose what I was gonna say because new things happen. So I think, surprisingly, I think I actually kind of grasp most everything. They did a pretty good job of explaining it, given how incredibly complicated it is. Um, Man, I just keep going back to that Faye scene in his head. That's gotta be my favorite scene in the game. A lot of like kind of live stream esque moment with Cloud and Tifa. A lot of like that feels there with like him coming to terms with what had happened. And I just love the way that they were able to take this thing that we all go through, where we all go through something really tough, really difficult, maybe even scarring. And at some point, we have a discussion with ourselves in our brain to say, like, you know, it happened. We're sad about it, but we're going to move on. And coming to terms with the fact that it happened, you know, given that the stages of grief, and being in denial, which is something I really resonate with. I went through a horrible stage of denial. And so, like, that's a conversation we all have with ourselves at some point. And this game did such a remarkable job of showing that physically in real time. You know, actually seeing Faye argue with his younger self, who is just sitting there watching a movie of his happy memories over and over again and completely denying everything else. And then his older self standing there over him, yelling at him like, no, you have to accept what happened. Look at what you did to him. Like, look at what you did to the other side of me, who is just awful and is nothing but hatred and wants to destroy the world. You caused that because you can't come to terms, you know? Like, that was just so amazing. Like, I will never forget that scene. It personally resonated with me a lot, but also just I think that everyone can resonate with that at least somewhat. Like, that was just such an amazing scene. So yeah, now we know why Sophia was a thing. Now we know why Ellie was a thing. It's because this entire time she's been a manifestation of a higher being who is now trapped because of it. Okay, can we just say this out loud? Can we just say this out loud? Ellie is the manifestation of a higher being who is now trapped on our planet because of an alien super weapon that landed on our planet and caused him to come down from his higher being and become trapped because... Why did he become trapped? Because of the power of the engine? He said it, but I don't remember what he said. Because of the engine being so powerful, he was like, what did he say? He was like pulled from the higher existence to become the power source, I guess. It needed a stronger power to power itself, and it found the higher existence and pulled him in. Yeah, right. Okay. That's so insane. So like, and then the higher existence split itself just like Faye did into the Zohar engine, which is powering Deus, Ellie, who is like the manifestation of his desires, and Faye, who is a manifestation of his power. Power, will, and energy. I wonder if there's a parallel between that and God in Christian terms of the Trinity. He said that he's God, but not really, so I don't really know if you're supposed to take a parallel between that higher existence and God. God is the entire game we've been describing God as the Zohar or Deus rather. So I don't really know if you're supposed to, but there is like an interesting parallel between that and the Trinity of the Christian God. Maybe. I could see it both ways. I could see it as Deus is God in like layman's terms of like the ultimate power that decides the fate of the planet. Or you could say that this entire time Deus has been the false god and the real god has been this higher existence, and he's just been powering Deus with his energy. And now we're talking to the true god. Even Faye asked, like, are you God? And he said, like, it depends on what you think. But yeah, I think maybe that's how you're supposed to see it. Yeah. Plus, obviously, the name, yeah. So yeah, I would actually... Well, I don't know. In terms of the Trinity, I don't think it makes much sense, because Deus is not really a part of God. He's a leech on God. So, but it's just an interesting thought, but I don't think it is, because Deus is the false prophet, the false god. It's really just Ellie and Faye are the two true parts of God, his will and his power. Crazy, man. And then Miang slots into this somehow. Like, holy cow. Oh yeah, I guess you could say the third part is the Zohar, though. Yeah. And Deus is just taking Zohar's power. But Zohar is supposed to be the true power. The third part. I should say energy, not power. Because Lacan is the power. Dad! Dad, are you okay? Dad, I'm sorry. This is all my fault. Faye? You've returned to your own self. You've become one. Yes, thanks to you all. If all of you hadn't called out to me. Ugh. Dad! Don't worry. This is good. This is, after all, Dad? You and I must become one. Huh? Grop, what's going on? Aha! I reached the limit of the body I possessed on that day 3 years ago. I required a body that would tide me over until your true awakening. That is why I acquired the body of your father. Regardless of your awakening, you're merging in the inherited memories you had acquired. There was no way for you to know of this, since you had lost your memory at that point. At the point in which I merged with your father. Wait, he's been him the whole time? Impossible. What about Wise Man? What about Father? Of course they were just parts of me. I couldn't hold on to Khan totally. His ego was far stronger than I imagined. When my control weakened, he showed himself to you as Wise Man. Ah! You have awakened. This body is now useless to me. Now I must return to my original body, the reincarnation of my body that you inhabit. Stop it, Dad! I hear you, Faye. You see, he and I are one. I am Khan. Khan is me. He has become one with me, so you too should open your heart and unite with me. Then we can go on to eliminate everything. No, I can't allow you to control me. Protecting your master? Then so be it. I'll merge with both you and your machine then. Now come, Faye, fight me! It's no use. I know you're Lacan and that you're a part of me. But that doesn't change you being my father. I could never really fight you. You're so naive. Why don't you understand that your naivety is what killed Sophia? What killed your mother, Karen? I already knew that. That's why I swore never to run away again. That I must rescue Ellie. So don't get in my way. Wake up. Open your eyes, Father. Lacan. If that's the case, then fight me. Fight me. I can't. I see. Then there's no choice. Since you are so unwilling to fight, I believe I'll have to use them as bait. By the way, they're still here. Stop it. Don't we have the same memories? Can't you also remember that sadness you felt way back then? Why then? Why must you destroy everything? If we stop Deus, won't this all be over? You still don't understand. Even after your contact with the Existence? I came to understand after my contact with the Existence that even if Deus was destroyed, as long as humans still inhabit this land, Miang, Elheim, will be born then time and again. Then all living things may as well perish along with Deus itself. That's the only path to freedom. The path to release us from the eternal cycles of life, the tragedies of history and the spell of fate. Once I awaken Deus as a weapon, I'll obliterate all living things. Then I'll use your awakened self and that machine to return everything to nothing. That's what I concluded. Miang and Elheim are not just Deus mouthpieces. That woman is its main body. Why can't you see that? That's not true. She gave her life for me by shielding me from harm. Her eyes weren't Miang's. Mother came back at the last moment. Miang, Mother, even Ellie, we're all humans born on this planet. Deus doesn't matter. You'll see, I will bring Ellie back. Father, no, Graf, Lacan, if you won't back down. Never. Then I have no choice. The time has come to truly become one. Man, this is wild. So, like, first of all, I can't believe how many, like, I'm thinking a couple hours ago, I'm like, okay, obviously there's going to be, like, one more big reveal or something that, like, is going to put all this together. But it is absolutely insane how many, like, even the fact that her mother, or that his mother came back at the last second to rescue him. That's such a genius twist that, like, I didn't even think was going to be a thing. I thought it was just going to be, like, you know, he came to terms with it. But, like, it feels like every emotional change that happens in a character is because of, like, this twist that they set up from the very beginning of the game. It's never just like, oh, okay, I'm going to feel this way now. There's always, like, some big twist that happens that makes them change their mind. And it's, like, just insane that they, like, thought all this through. So, anyways, Graf has been Wise Man this entire time, and has also been his father the entire time. That's, like, crazy and actually makes a lot of sense. Also, all these twists actually make sense, which is like insane. But like, so I was about to say, right before he turned into Groff, I was about to say, this is such a cool moment because, like, his father's arc is nuts. So, like, he didn't believe his son at the beginning when Miang was taking control. And ever since then, he's been on a quest to, like, save his son. And we saw him try to save his son in the flashback. So it's believable that he would have spent all this time following him around and trying to save him. You know? Like, it's perfectly believable. It's not like he was a jerk back then and then somehow, like he, from even the flashback, risked his life to save his son, right? But then, on top of that, this entire time he's been fighting Groff off in the same exact way that Faye has been fighting Id off. And it's his father, so it, like, makes sense that they both have the same, like, oh my god, it's so genius. Like, that's so cool that he was, like, fighting control of Groff this whole time in the same exact way. And now, we're fighting both our father and Lacan, who, like, in a way is also our father. Like, in a way, he's like our descent, like our distant being of old descendant. Like, this moment is so insane. We're fighting Lacan, who is our distant self, but is still distraught over Sophia. We're fighting our father, who is trying to save us, but is also Groff, who is Lacan's evil side, who has been possessing him this entire time. Like, holy cow. Like, just, wow. Talk about a setup to a fight. Also, who even are we? We're like a Super Saiyan version of Weltall at this point. Are we Id? We're like Id Weltall, but we're a different color. Right? Or is that the same? Are we just Weltall Id, or like... I feel like we're a different color. We are the Xenogear now or something. True Weltall, that's him. We are the Xenogear. There's Weltall, which is just like the regular gear, and then there's Weltall Id, which is the regular gear, but possessed by Id. And then there's True Weltall, which is apparently Lacan's gear. I guess, right? Because that would be why Groff has him. Alpha Weltall is Lacan's original gear. So this is a mixture between Alpha Weltall and Groff's Weltall, I guess. Become True Weltall. Meanwhile, we're also Weltall, but we're like Faye's ultimate Weltall, which is apparently the Xenogear. There's a lot of Weltalls, okay? There's a lot of Weltalls, and they all do that goofy stomp move. Also, that moment that Faye's dad, Khan, became Groff, and it hit Groff's theme right there, like, that was so good. I feel like the music in this game has been really good, but also has been, like, one of the complaints we've had is, like, a lot of the music has been reused just because they didn't have enough time to make a soundtrack that matches with just how much content is in the game. But it does have its moments. Like, when Groff's theme hit right when he turned into Groff. Just that ba-na-na, ba-ba-na-na. Like, that was great. Even with the limited amount of music they had, they were able to utilize it well. So why aren't my boys helping, by the way? Are they just like, yeah, this is above our pay grade? We'll get obliterated. Is there... No, there's anything else. I was wondering if I had like a thing. That'd be cool if I could still channel it. You know, with this gear. Oh, he dodged. Take that. Ah! Ah!